Hello, my name is Randall Lawrence, independent filmmaker, host of That Moment podcast show. I'm here with Paul Jordan and Barry Battle, independent filmmakers in their own right. Brothers, tell us who you are, tell us what you got going on, get to the meat and potatoes, let's talk.
Yes, indeed, yes, indeed.
Go ahead, Barry.
So my name is Barry Battle. I'm a playwright, filmmaker. Right now we're working on Rotten Apple. It's a stage play. Paul is in it. He's playing Bryce, the son. February 4th and 5th, 2023 at the Bowie Center for Performing Arts. So it's about this guy named John Lancaster. You know, he used to be a professional boxer.
So hold on for 1 second. We're going to get into the meat and potatoes with everything that you have going on right now. Paul, tell us who you are and tell us what it is that you do.
What's up, everybody? My name is Paul Jerry, a.k.a. Pablo, que lo que, baby, tu sabes. But I'm an actor, comedian, writer, filmmaker, model. I do everything but drugs, you know what I'm saying? And like you said, you know, I'm a part of Rotten Apple. I'm playing the lead son of Bryce. I'm also working on Thanksgiving Roast Part 2. Just made a short film with my little nephew called Last Resort. We're filming another feature film next year called Compound. So we just been working, man. We've been grinding, just showing people that, you know, we want to make authentic stories. All
right, so I'm sorry to cut you off. I apologize because it seems like I'll let you go on. You're going to tell the whole show in the hour. All right, let's break it down. Barry, tell us what you got going on right now. And then we're going to talk about the stuff that you've done in the past. But for right now, tell us what you got going on.
So right now we're doing Rotten Apple. It's the stage play. I've been writing it for 10 years. It's about John Lancaster. He was a professional boxer.
You've been writing this play for 10 years?
For 10 years.
Sounds about right, but go ahead.
For 10 years. And he's a professional boxer, and he's living vicariously through his son and also his best friend who does music. So what he want to do is sell his house and move to New York City because he wants to become his best friend manager. So a Rotten Apple, I don't want to tell too much of the story, but a Rotten Apple comes into his life and feeds him all of these dreams and stuff. And you know, now he's, you know, it's conflict in the house with his wife, his son, and stuff because of this.
I get it.
And Paul plays the son, the lead. So.
All right, Paul, tell us how you feel about this role.
Man, I feel good about it, man. And Barry said, look, Paul, I'm writing this role just for you. So if you don't take it, like, we're not going to be friends no more. I was like, all right. I said, bro, you got me locked in. The storyline and the character, it's so many parts of my life. Like, it takes place in Charlottesville. I got a lot of family in Charlottesville. I had people in my life that were living vicariously through me. You know what I'm saying? My mom was ill, you know, just like the mom in the story.
Don't get too much.
I don't want to get too much, but just a lot of parts of my life fit, you know, the role. And he was like, yo, Paul, like, this role is specifically, you know, for you. And being able to take it in and, you know, just learning more about, you know, my character and just the character building and everything. I'm excited, man. Like, you guys can see a different side because y'all always see me joking around, laughing and stuff.
That's good. First of all, I truly want to thank you guys for making the trip out here.
Oh, it was a trip. It was definitely a trip.
We thank you for having us.
We thank you for having us.
What you've done here is, like, amazing.
I appreciate it, man. Again, my mission statement is to try to provide a bridge for us to cross in every different aspect, behind the camera, in front of the cameras, because us as independent filmmakers, it's already hard for us to move forward. So we have to find different ways or avenues to make it work for us.
Amen.
Especially if we don't have sponsorship and all that good stuff. So That Moment podcast show is one of those bridges that we can come and share what it is that we're doing with others. And hopefully, you know, it can help somebody else down the line.
Yeah,
I agree. Y'all doing some phenomenal work, man. This is amazing.
Thank you, man. You know, having you two as guests at the same time, I'm going to reach out to both of y'all. It's a pleasure for me.
Likewise.
So, tell us about some of the movies that you guys already done past.
Right. So, I did Camp Wilson. It's my own movie or whatever. It was a short film, and what I was thinking was, I'm gonna shoot a short film. I'm gonna take an L on it. You know, not receive any money. I'm gonna just put it out on YouTube.
What you gotta,
so people, so they can see what I do. You know, because you can't support me if you don't know my my writing.
Right.
So I recorded a lot. We spent a lot of money on this movie, but we put it out. You know, with All-Star Omar Gooding. It's a psychological thriller, and we did that. We had a nice response to it, you know. And then right now I'm writing a feature film to it. So we'll shoot the feature film probably in the fall. And we'll probably look at your facility as well because
that's cool. Thank you.
I'm really liking it.
Definitely is amazing. Yeah.
Thank you.
And Paul was actually in it as well.
Yeah, I was
He
one of
played
the
Detective Shipman.
Shipman.
Yeah.
I thought I was Detective Jerry.
Jerry?
Right?
Yeah, right. But
he was like, "Nah,
Shipman.
you're not Jerry.
It
You
was
know your
Shipman.
last name. You Shipman."
Yeah.
So,
That's cool.
Yep.
that was cool.
I did Dead Man Down with Frank. Dead Money. I did a lot of movies as an actor because I thought I wanted to get into acting and stuff, and then I fell out of love with it, you know, because I realized that writing is really my passion.
That's what you truly have to find what it is that you truly love,
Yeah.
so you can bring to the table. For me, it's acting first with anything.
Wow.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh
Didn't
yeah.
know that. Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's
Okay.
It's yeah.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Don't try to test me. I'll pull that sad card on you in a
Right.
minute. not to make that makes any difference, but yeah, that's my first love.
That's
But
what's up.
I've always wanted to. So with me, it was I did a lot of work on different sets as far as like The Wire, House of Cards, and every little thing, and that was like the school for me. I took what I've learned on those sets and tried to bring certain things as far as me becoming an independent filmmaker to help me and others too, because sometimes you can't just wait for them casting calls to come
true.
in. You gotta
true.
make a way for yourself, and that's what that's what I'm trying to do with RLawrence Films.
Okay. Nice.
So
I like that.
That's what's up.
yeah, we're trying to make out.
So,
trying to make out.
are you the lead in your own films?
Nah, I never.
Okay.
I never touched the lead roles.
Okay, but some type of role you're in there.
Yeah, I'm in there
Okay.
in some type of in some type of roles I'm in there, but I never touched the lead roles.
That's good.
For me, it takes on a whole lot of responsibility.
It does.
And I can't be for me, I can't be behind the camera and act and do all of these. I got to take a
direct,
smaller role and with the us as being independent, your hands are going to be everywhere.
Yeah.
So when you're doing stuff like that, something is going to come up short. You probably need to focus on what it is that you can bring to the table.
That's true.
The most, so it can work out towards the end.
Okay.
And that's what I haven't put out. I'm working on 3 short films right now, but I'm getting pulled in so many different ways to help other people.
Yeah.
And it's a privilege for me to be that way, and I get it and I understand.
Right.
And plus, you go through that transition in the beginning, you don't expect the money or whatever the case. But now it's like the money is starting to really, really, really come in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now people start respecting you as an actor or a director or DP or whatever the case you may be, and you're starting to get paid. So I can't turn down that $10,000 or that $15,000, $20,000. I can't turn it down,
right?
Because that can be funds to fund my movie. You know what I mean?
Next project,
or to help somebody else. So with that being said, what do you find the struggles in the independent world as an independent actor or as an independent filmmaker or playwright? What do you struggle with the most?
Mine won't be long, but you can.
I think as an independent actor, a lot of times getting the roles that you want. You know what I'm saying? By me being a police officer, sometimes you're like, yo, Paul, I could just use Paul as a cop, or I could just use him as a detective. And it's like, I have a comedic side, I have another serious side that is outside of that role. Like, We Own the City, with John Bernthal, Jamie Hector, Trey Chaney. I was a police recruit, for that movie. And the limited series. So finding like those roles, and so many people have told me, Paul, look, if you want that dream role, you got to write it yourself. When I talked to Billy Sorrells, when I was talking to Rob Gordon, they're like, yo, Paul, you got to write your own story. And I started wanting to put that hat on like Barry and writing my own film. So I ended up writing, my first boxing feature film that we're looking to shoot next year. And we just did a short film with my nephew. And I'm like, okay, I want people to see the other side of Paul, Jerry, or Pablo. I want them to see, you know, the humble side, or, you know, when Paul is like really, really crying, or when he's really feeling like, hey, you know, I need to do this. I need to make this decision, because Hollywood is going to put you in a role. They feel that you fit what their vision is, but they don't know what your vision is for you. So I think that's probably one of the hardest parts, just getting the roles that you want. But like you said, if you can't get them, you got to create them yourself. And like, look, okay, you might not see me as this, but look, I'm going to put myself in that role, and I'm going to put it out there, and everybody's going to love it. And he's like, wow, I can see Barry in that role. I can see Levi in that role. Oh, you know what? I ain't think about Paul playing that role, but he could play this role. So you got to kind of like give them a little bit of the, what do they call it? Little appetizers, just a little starter. And they taste it. That is chicken. That is good. All right. Let me give you some more. So,
on an emotional level, how do you feel like you can bring the character out to express it more from an actor's point of view? What do you do, or how do you for me, I truly have to understand the breakdown of a character to deliver, and that takes me a while. And then when I do understand the breakdown of a character, it takes me a while to decompress from the character.
So you're a method actor?
Is that what you call it?
Yeah. Where you lose yourself?
Yeah, I can. Yeah. Like, and I just recently found out that that's exactly, because I would study a character, and I would study a character in my sleep.
Me too.
While I'm sleeping. Right. When I get up, if I'm somewhere and I have time to, like, I really try to understand. Like, you can give me the blueprint, but I'm gonna go outside of the blueprint to work on facial reactions. I'm gonna work on reactions when you deliver me a line, or how can I feed that? How can I feed this line back to you, where you can play with it and you can give it back to me where I can understand it to make it better.
Yeah, that's crazy, because that at rehearsal I was telling the actors, just know your why. Why are you doing certain things? Because you have to know. And like, far as method acting, when I was doing Waldy Street, my mom's stage play, because she's a writer as well.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I lose myself in that character, Sonny, so much. I've been doing it for 10 years. I've been writing now for 10 years, doing this for 10 years. And I lose myself to where even if I go to events, I'm rocking Sonny's clothes.
Yep.
Like, I'm trapped in his mind for real, you know, because of how I'm building the character. But I feel like that's the best acting, you know, because you're able to take it to that level and just know your whys and stuff.
I agree. And to what you said, like the emotional part, there's like two different parts. So when I was playing the crackhead, I know. When I was playing the crackhead in Thanksgiving Roast, I was trying to pull from, like, okay, what can I pull from to bring this character to life? So I was thinking about Samuel Jackson. You know, I was thinking about Holly Berry. I was thinking about what Chris Rock did. I was thinking about what Dave Chappelle did. I was like, okay, how can I pull from this? I'm like, all right, you know, let me create a voice for him. What is the voice going to be for my character? And his name was Cousin Boo Boo. And I started researching. And hey, Paul, you know, he's like the crackhead of the family. They don't really like him like that. And, you know, a crackhead still has human qualities. You know what I'm saying? But the means of getting what he wants is just not your traditional method. You know, he want to get money to buy drugs, not money to support his family. So it's like, okay, with Boo Boo, I was like, man, you got a little bit of stuff. What you got? So it's like, all right, now that I create the voice for him, what is he going to look like? So I went to the thrift store, started getting gear, clothes for him. And I got so lost in the character, like, people really thought that I was a crackhead. You know what I'm saying? They like, oh, snap, like, let me get away from him. Like he just filming. So
one of the things that I find that's so dangerous that you can bring to a character, and Robert De Niro, he does it all the time, is that silent pause before you deliver that line, or in between those lines. That silent pause where, if it's just you fixing your glasses before you deliver it, or if it's just you taking the hand and playing with your beard, or if it's just you taking that head off and flipping it back to the other side, and then going directly into it. It's all of those little things, those nuances, those little things that help you bring the character to where it needs to be. Because again, like I said, the script is nothing but a blueprint. Now it's up to you to understand.
That's why I
try to figure out which direction to go to.
That's why I tell those actors, know your why, like what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like, even though you may not have dialogue at this time, you're on stage, you need to think of something. You're thinking of something. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I'm going to go inside this cooler. Think that thought and go inside the cooler. You know, oh, I'm about to leave because, you know, I got to go cook dinner. Think that thought and actually do it.
Yeah.
You know, and your performance will be totally different than just acting. You know?
Sometimes I can be that person like, why do you keep doing all this? I'm a firm believer in doing rehearsals. Why do you keep doing all these takes?
No rehearsals?
No, doing rehearsals. Rehearsal. Yeah. I'm a firm believer of rehearsals to a level, because by the time you rehearse it to a certain degree, by the time we click on these cameras, you'll have the gist of what it is that I'm looking for.
Right.
For me, I'll keep pointing the finger, keep pushing you, because it's my job as a director to bring your craft to life,
to take you there.
to the best of your ability. I would be doing a disservice if I was to if you were to walk off one of my locations and feel a certain kind of way, like you didn't accomplish, other than money, or you didn't accomplish anything.
Right.
Because I want to be a student, and I want you to be a student too as well. But I want all of us to see the bigger picture at the end, and to bring the best quality of work to this film when we walk away. Because it's not about the personal opinions of what I think or what about it is. Because if you was an actor and you tell me, hey, what about this way? And I see it that way and it works, yeah, let's try it that way.
Right.
That's me. That's who I am. But I'm not going to allow you to walk off knowing that you can do better.
You can do better.
Yeah, I can't. I won't even sleep at night.
So what do you think, both of you, makes a great director?
Having to be able to understand where the vision is. Having to understand how to get to that vision. Having an understanding about who it is that you're working with. It has nothing to do with a camera. It has nothing to do with you having your SAG card. It has nothing to do with any of those other things. But it has everything to do with trying to bring the best work possible to that character for the bigger picture.
Right.
Yeah. And not letting your personal emotions get involved in.
I agree with that. As a director, having the vision, but also too knowing, okay, where is this actor at, and how can I get him from point A to point B? You know what I'm saying? So Barry, like, okay, Paul, look, this is your character. All right, this is the breakdown of your character. All right, I want you to start building up a backstory of your character and being able to instruct them without chastising them. Because you got some directors, they'll just nagging at you, and a good director, they said, doesn't coach the actor, they coach the character. So Barry, like, he might not call me Pablo doing rehearsal, like, yo, Bryce, I need you to do that. So when you actually talk to the character and not the actor, now the actors think, oh wow, he's talking to my character, so that helps them relate better.
Here's an icebreaker with, especially with new actors. If you give an actor a script and you tell them, keep it for a week, I'll see you in a week, they'll come back. The first thing they're going to try to convince to you is that I know my script. And it's going to start from top to bottom. Straight from top to bottom. And then they're going to look at you like, I told you I knew my script. Man, I know you can read. But I need for you to become the character. I need for you to show me the character. I need for you to have an understanding of what we may think what the character is. So you can sit right here and tell me from word. I know you can read. I don't want that. I need for you to show me how you can become this character from left to right, top to bottom. And what it is, how it is.
My bad. That's why he told us, create, the backstory. Like, okay, Bryce, I know he's 17. It doesn't say in script what high school he went to. It doesn't say what his favorite food is, what he likes for breakfast, what's his fear, you know what I'm saying? It just gives you, like you said, a blueprint. So creating that backstory, like, okay.
And it's up to you as you go on.
And it changes.
To be like, okay, in the dynamic of the story, we mentioned nothing about one thing, but I know I know with this I can say, if somebody was to pass me eggs, before I say these lines and you're like, how'd you know my eggs? How'd you know I like my eggs scrambled? And then deliver the lines. And then the director's like, whoa, oh, that sounds a lot better.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's what you want. That's what it is. That's how we bring the creativities out. And that's our job, for us to bring the creativity out in actors.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, that's true. A lot of actors don't do that though. They
Yeah.
don't do the character building before the actual script starts.
That's because you want to know what it is. I think they're trying to get. Like I never take the first two scenes because it's always like nervous scenes, especially if you're dealing with a new actor, because it's always like I want to show him I can read this script. Now I know you can read the script. I catch you on the fourth or fifth when I see you in that rhythm. When you start doing certain things like this, listen up in the chair, shaking your leg. Oh, he or she has that rhythm now, and she's coming in a little bit faster. And that's when I start really getting into the meat and potatoes. Yeah. Especially if it's an actor that I don't know. Right. Yeah. That I don't know.
So I know with me, I have my own methods, but what's like some of your methods of memorizing like lines and studying?
It's a breakdown for me. Like I have to hear certain words, the beginning and the end. Okay. Or I have to. For me, I'll memorize one paragraph. Okay. To a certain degree, and then go back to the next. If I have long dialogue, I hate long dialogue. I hate long dialogue. I can't stand long dialogue. It's like, okay, I gotta memorize certain keywords in those dialogues to help me to understand, to bring back this. Right. Well, but once I get it. And then once I really understand it, that's when I start delivering it in different ways and understanding how to bring the character to life. Okay. Yeah. But that's how I just got some auditions. Anyway, go ahead.
What was that moment? Because we talked about directing. What was that moment where you guys realized I'm an actor?
So you just hit the meat and potatoes of this whole show. The whole show is me asking you that question. So we're gonna go back to that question towards the end of the show.
We'll go back to the memorization. Mm-hmm. For me, you know, a lot of times I gotta write it down like 3 times. But if it's a script, his script is like, you know, a lot of pages. So I'm like, all right, I can't write down each line. You know what I'm saying? 3 different times. So I learned a lot by hearing because I'm always
you hear.
So I'll record myself rehearsing it. Boom. When I'm driving, instead of playing music, I'll play the script. I'm like, all right, boom. And I'll get it to where I'm talking on the same nuance or the same, you know, wavelength as I'm hearing it. And then once I memorize, okay, boom. Like you say, you can do that dramatic pause. So you can add that. So hearing it for me and just constant repetition. Hey, you know, can you want to rehearse with me? Can you study with me?
The crazy part for me is I can repeat it every single day, all day. But I find myself understanding it more when I'm asleep at night.
Oh, wow.
It processes.
You wake up, didn't I tell you?
It processes at night or 2 or 3 days later. Okay. It's like I can say my lines 2 or 3 days later. But if I try to memorize it right there.
But it does seem a lot. Like when he first gave me the script, and then the script had, mind you, like you said, it was a 10-year, you know, project. So the script changed from when I first read the script in 2016. 2016 to the script that we just got. So I'm like, okay, boom. Bryce's character has a couple changes in it. Okay, let me start learning these lines. And you had to relearn what you learned 5 years ago. So I'm like, all right. So
but when you went back to relearn, did you do it? You should have done it a lot better because you was already processed.
Yeah, so I already processed it. So I'm like, okay, boom. I'm going to just switch this with this with that. And it ended up just being better. But the way he wrote the character breakdown the second time, he has so much dynamics versus the first time. And I could just tell the growth from him writing the script, you know what I'm saying, 10 years ago to having the script now.
Isn't that so I'm glad you brought that point up. When it comes to growth, in stages, whether it be you as a director or whether it be you as an actor, how do you feel, or how does that make you feel when you see another actor or actress grow, or when you feel yourself growing?
I love it because that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
You know, I hate to see if we do a project or work with someone and they never grow. because that means you're not studying your craft. And that's what it's all about. So I like to see from the beginning, like with this stage play, when I gave them the script in the beginning, the rehearsal then versus now is totally different. And I love that. That's what it's all about. You have to, really build those characters and make sure, own it. If you're not owning that character, then you're not living in your truth.
Certain things that pee you off as a director and as an actor. I know for me, I know what it is for me. For me, now I've always lived. I'm straight from DC, but I've always lived outside of DC.
Okay.
If we're on location in DC, or if we're on location somewhere, and you live in that same location, and I live 2 hours. I live 2 hours away. Your call time is at 7 o'clock. My call time is at 6 o'clock, and I got to be there at 5 o'clock because my call time is at 6 o'clock. Your call time is at 7 o'clock, but you come at 7:45, 8 o'clock, but you live there.
Yeah.
And I beat you there.
Yeah.
And I live 2 hours away.
Yeah.
I got a problem.
Yeah, that's one of my pet peeves. Too.
Yeah, I got a problem.
Because
you live here where we're filming, but you 45 minutes late.
Yeah.
I live 2 hours away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I beat you an hour. I got a problem. Did somebody die?
Yeah.
Because if that,
Yeah.
I don't want to hear that. Really, I don't want to hear nothing else if there ain't nobody die. And it got to be immediate close to you.
Right.
Because you don't respect your fellow actors and people that's on the project. I feel the same way.
Yeah.
Because I'm always an hour early. Not today though, because you're so
right.
far.
Oh no, it's fine.
It's fine. But I'm usually an hour early to everything. Like anything, I'm always an hour early. So that's one of my biggest pet peeves. Like, please stop coming in late. Because if I'm here early with 2 toddlers, a wife, 2 dogs,
there's no reason why you should be late.
Unless somebody died.
Unless somebody dies.
And
then I don't even expect you to come then. So
right.
Exactly. I think that's the thing that kind of like pees me off.
Yeah, and not coming prepared. That's one of my biggest pet peeves.
I can listen. Let me tell you, the prepared piece is when you not have a general idea about your lines at all.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the piece. Like you cannot know your lines, but when you don't have a general idea, or you come to me and tell me, "Oh, I ain't had time to study my script. We can wing it." No, we can't.
Can't wait.
We doing both of us a disservice. Yeah, we doing both of us a disservice, and you doing the person next to you a disservice.
For real.
So yeah, that's for me. That's my.
I would say my pet peeve is I hear a lot of people, they don't realize how long I've been acting. And they think everything is just a quick fix. I'm like, I'm doing background. I was like, bro, you know how much I was doing background before I started getting speaking roles? Like, it's not just going to come as soon as you want it. And it's like, they want to be in the lead role, in a big film, like, straight out the box.
Before I started casting myself, that's all I did. I did background, feature background, stand-ins, and all of that stuff. Now, all of that, it was, not to cut you off, I apologize.
No, you good.
All of that was me going to college. Yeah. That's all that was. Me getting an education on how to be a better independent filmmaker, or how to be a better.
Right. Where'd you go at?
No.
What college you go to?
I went to UDC. No, that was me saying a joke, meaning I was getting my education in the filming business.
Right.
Oh, gotcha,
that's what that. Yeah, I was getting my education in the filming business for free. Because I was there witnessing all of this stuff. Yeah, I was getting paid for certain things, but I got a chance to see how the DP work. I got a chance to see how the director work. I got a chance to build relationships and network.
And that's what people forget. Building relationships. They get on set and they want to just take a quick picture with the lead actor. I'm like, bro, the DP is important. Sound is important, like Barry was saying earlier. The director, you need to know the people who are making this whole ambiance happen.
If you have an understanding what it is that they do, and you get to see it for free,
right?
You have done yourself.
It's a paid internship.
You have done yourself a disservice, and you haven't taken advantage of that.
For sure.
And that's for sure.
Do you know Cassandra Ridrick? I think her last name is
Cassandra.
Cass. She's a filmmaker. She's a director.
Cassandra. Short hair?
Cass. No, she had long hair. She was from DC. I probably don't know her, but yeah, I worked under her when I first started getting into film. I worked under her for 3 years. She used to be 50 Cent road manager and all of this, just to learn the business, put my pride aside and just learn.
Right.
I was her AD, just learning under her. She taught me so much. Like, you have to do that, you know?
Yeah, let me tell you something. This is crazy, too. And this understanding these roles, too. For a long time, I was doing my own independent films. But I gotten to a point where everybody, you know, a lot of people come in and ask me to do DP work. And for a while, and it happened to me a few times, I've gotten so used to doing my own work, but every time when somebody would come in and say, come on location, do DP work, I would go on location, do DP work, and scream out action, like, and take it over like this. I realized action, I'm like, the director look at me like, what are you doing? I'm like, man, I apologize. This ain't my stuff.
I'm just ready to go.
I can get you, but that lets you have to understand these roles and to have a general idea of what it is that they do. And if you can get that stuff for free by coming in as something else, it's up to you to take advantage of all of that stuff.
It's a book out called "What They Don't Teach You in Film School" by Shane Shanley. And I was watching the interview on YouTube, and I ended up buying the book after listening to the interview. And I can't remember the director, but he said, "Hey Shane, like, you got skill, you got talent, but you just need more, you know, building." He said, like, I want you to take a trip with me. I think it was like either Ireland or Australia. He said, we're going to go film this feature film. He said, look, I didn't ask how much am I getting paid. I just said, look, what do you need me to do? He said, man, I learned the budget sheet. I went over there and saw everybody in place, how the actors, above the line, below the line. And he said, I got a crash course on filmmaking in like 2 months that I would have took me almost 2 years to learn. But he was humble enough, you know what I'm saying, to go with him and not ask anything.
I love to see independent filmmakers do what they got to do. Again, like when you asked when you first came in, I just got finished working with Terrence. What's Terrence's?
Arlen.
Terrence Arlen.
Okay.
I Love Juliet.
Yeah.
For, you know, picked up the phone like, buddy, I need you. So I went to work with him for 7 to 8 days. Shout out to Terrence. Terrence is a phenomenal director. I love people that can work under pressure.
Right.
And Terrence he will make stuff happen as far. What's that terminology? Make water out of lemonade. What's that terminology? Lemonade. Yeah, that's. I love to see people do what they got to do to get what they got to get.
Yeah.
And that's the whole ordeal about not taking these roles personal. Oh, I'm a director. I ain't supposed. No, I'm that director. Whatever it is you need me to lift, I'm gonna lift it. If you need me to go get crafty, I'll go get crafty. Yeah. Whatever it is you need me to do, I'm gonna do it.
And that's how you should be. It's a team effort. Everyone's together. You're not better as a director or writer. I'm not better than a PA or director. It's like we're all together here trying to shoot the same exact thing.
That's me.
And that's how I see it.
That's me. I've written, directed 3 or 4 independent films.
Nice.
All in while still learning. Right now is me adventuring into some of my best work with these next projects. I think my last 4 projects was just learning experiences. Nice. Okay. I know what it is, which direction I don't want to go anymore. I know what kind of people who I want to work with. I know I just have a better understanding about which direction where I want to go. Having a better understanding about the equipment that I want to use, and I don't know, just having a better understanding about the craft.
I'm so glad you said that, especially about getting things done, because I was just doing a lot of research. Like, you know, if I'm being a filmmaker, you know, if I'm tapping into filmmaking and writing, I was looking up Spike Lee. And Spike Lee was talking about the movie Malcolm X. He's like, you know,
he had a budget for something.
Yeah, he said the studios, they came to me when I reached the max of the budget, like, hey, shut everything down or finish anything. He was like, look, I'm going to finish this movie. And he was like, he called up Michael Jordan, Jackson, Prince, all them, and they sent the money. And it was like, you know, it takes a village, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of times people aren't going to see
Your
the
vision.
vision that we have. But we do have people around us like, hey, I believe in you,
Yeah.
I back you, and I support you. So
Yeah, talk about support system. It's truly important to have the right type of support system in this field. Somebody's gonna get hurt, and you don't. Yeah, somebody's gonna get hurt.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and it's usually ones who love you, who claim to love you the most,
Right.
and you don't intentionally want to hurt them, but there's gonna be a time where you actually have to make a choice.
Yep, that's true.
I agree.
What's the choice you've been in? Like, what's something you had to? You said, oh, I can't do this right now because of this.
My first marriage. Sometimes you're gonna have to figure out how am I gonna pay this, or does this need to be? You're gonna have to make a sacrifice down the line if you're doing independent, and you're gonna have to have the right support system. But the one thing that you have to be is, if you have that significant other, be honest with your significant other. Tell them what's going on, so they can have a heads up, and so they can move forward. Don't tippy-toe around certain things, because that just make it worse.
Listen, I couldn't. This is my time to give my wife all of the praise, because I could not do this play or nothing I'm doing without her. My mom, like, they are really my support system, you know, and they believe in the dream, and I literally couldn't do nothing without them. They support, they understand. We have 2 toddlers running around, so my wife, she takes control when I have to go do something, or, financially, everything.
Yeah.
Like, they come to the table and we all understand that.
Understand one thing, and it's probably going to sound a little, but the same people who smile in your face are not going to be the same people who's going to support you.
Not at all.
Understand that. And you have to be okay with it.
Yep.
You gotta be family, friends. The same people that's gonna smile in your face are gonna be the same people who are not gonna support you in time of need.
But why is that?
I don't know.
I'm going through it now. Like, why is that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Half the time is because when certain people want to do certain things and you're doing it, it makes them feel a certain kind of way.
Yeah,
and why is it like strangers support you more than people that know you?
Rick, thank you for coming out.
Thank you for coming out, Rick.
Very known Rick for 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. Picked up the phone yesterday.
Dang.
Rick, I need an engineer.
That's
all right, I'll be there.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
It's always, I hate to say it, it's always somebody else out your element.
It is.
That'll support you.
We'll ride now where I have people doing that now. Oh, you doing this? You have these people, and you. I'm like, yeah, but you should support. You should support even without
the names
for me,
attached to it.
For me, it's inside of my DNA to give you the shirt off my back.
For sure.
But for me now, I'm really starting to feel a certain kind of way, and I think it's okay for me to have not that feeling anymore.
Okay.
I have to make sure that I'm all right first before I can help
I've
somebody
been learning
else.
that too, man. How to say no.
I gotta make sure. It's not even about me saying no. It's about me having to make sure that I have
your household is secure.
Yeah.
Okay, before
household is secure. Me having an understanding that am I okay mentally and physically? Yeah. Because the same type of support that I give my friends that I drive 2 or 3 hours away for venues.
Yeah.
It's the same. Like, I live 2 hours away now, 3 hours away now. If I was to say, hey, come on, that's 2, 3 hours. I can't get mad because I still have that choice of supporting.
Yeah.
And it's up to me. They don't, it's okay for them to say no, and I got to be okay with it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Regardless of how they may feel. But I know for me, I need to make sure, I need to start making sure that I'm okay first.
Yeah, that's it. How are y'all? Like, you see what happened with Twitch and stuff, like, just mental.
Right, mental. For me, mentally now, I'm 52 years old now.
Oh, you look.
What? 52 minus 20.
Wow, that's what's
I'm
up.
52 years old, and once you get a certain age, there's certain things that you don't think about anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to be involved in nonsense. You don't want nonsense around you. If you're not coming around with the same energy or having an understanding of how we can move forward together, like, you're not going to want these things around you.
Right, that's true.
Yeah, and that's where I am. Like, I think I've been, like, even down to my health now, I don't even need it Like I went plant-based.
Oh, okay.
I'm about to start that too.
Yeah,
Me
plant-based.
too. Yeah.
Plant-based helps me in so many different ways.
Yeah.
Like I was having certain body aches. I don't have it anymore. Like my back. My when you're young, your immune system takes care of certain things. But like when you get older, it's different.
Yeah.
It's different. But I still sometimes every now and then I might drink sodas, and I'm into coffee now a little bit. But that helps you with certain other things too.
Yeah. I'm gonna start getting into that because COVID. I put on all this weight. We had 2 babies during COVID. We had a baby, so we just eating and stuff. So it's like I have to get
try to plant-based.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna definitely try and get back into boxing and martial arts and stuff because that's important. Your health is important. We can't these conversations. We can't have these conversations if we aren't healthy.
Yeah. Right, physically and mentally.
Yeah, emotionally. Yeah.
So that same energy that we're talking about right now for us as directors and for us as independent filmmakers is so important to bring that energy out on location because you never know what the next person is going through standing beside you.
That's true.
That is so true.
I
meet so many people just on set, and I'll be talking to them, and like, dang, Paul, like, I appreciate you, man. Like, look, let's pray real quick before we start the scene, and we pray real quick, start the scene, and you might hear somebody crying, and they might like, hey, I'm going through this, I'm going through that, and it's like just being like that person they can lean on. But to piggyback on what you were saying, I'm doing good, and I feel that I'm doing better because I'm comfortable with my emotional side. I'm 32.
If I were to see it for me, I first started the love of filmmaking at 32. If I had a better understanding, if I had a better understanding, and that's what I wanted to do for the rest of my life, then I would have been much better. It's like I'm still scraping. I'm still trying to
you,
I'm 32 as well. I feel like I'm just now.
Both of y'all 32?
Yeah. That's what the college together.
I feel like we're just now starting to understand it a little bit, and we don't know nothing now.
Right.
Let me tell you one of the things that I know for me, especially and I know I just knew, I knew of you guys through social media. People would actually tell me, but it seems like you're not approachable. It seems like you don't. Total opposite.
Right, yeah.
The total opposite. I'm going to your inbox and send you a message and all. And it's up to you to respond. I probably did it to y'all a few times. When people don't think like, oh no, he ain't serious. He don't want to work with me. No, dead serious.
Yeah, me too. That's how when I first started. But see, it was a little discouraging for me because that's what I was doing.
Right.
But people were like not responding. Oh, you're not ready yet. Like they were sending stuff back like that. It's crazy. And now it's crazy, Paul. If I showed you messages, you'd be like, what? Dang. And those same people, they're backtracking now.
Man, bro, we went through the same. We went through I don't think I went. Well, I can safely say now, like if I wanted to cast somebody, I wouldn't have to do a cast. I can go right through my message. I go straight through my, and not to say if that's an arrogant thing or whatever, but I can go straight through my message. Casting calls are important, but for me, for you to just come up and show me how you read a script is not going to do it for me.
Not at all.
Right. It's not going to do it for me at all.
I agree.
At all. Like you have to. It's something about you coming on location and showing me a different version of what it is that I gave you. That's what does it for me.
That's true.
And on top of that too, just to talk about what he was talking about earlier. Me and Dorian Wilson, we were on set for the first Wesley Christmas by Optic Productions, and I took a picture with Dorian. He didn't want to take a picture with nobody else, but he like, hey, let's get a picture. So I just held on to it, and then he like, yo, Paul, like I got the cast for Rotten Apple. I said, let me see the flyer. He said, send it to me. I said, get the out of here. He was like, what? I said, bro, we just did a Christmas movie together, and now we want to be able to play together. He said, you seriously? Look, this the picture. I said, I didn't even put it on Instagram or nothing yet. I'm going to send it to you. And I'm like looking at the people that you used to look up to, and now they're like your peers. And it's like just staying consistent. And I tell people, it's not that you're not talented. It's just that you're not discovered yet. So
it's not your time. And you have to be okay with that. But in between time,
you just
sharpen your razor as you go.
Amen.
With that being said, for me, and I ask this question to all my guests, who's your favorite actor and favorite director?
Actor, I mean, is a toss-up for me, and I asked the question on Facebook a while ago, is Denzel and Al Pacino. I really love what both of them guys do with their characters. Top of the notch. And as far as director, I would say I like David Fincher and also Fuqua.
I worked with David.
Oh dang, you took my.
Oh, you like Fuqua?
I was gonna say Spike Lee and Fuqua.
Yeah.
Antoine Fuqua.
What about you?
Sidney Poitier.
Oh yeah,
Bill Cosby.
Oh yeah.
For me, it's without them. I
can see that they were pioneers.
Right, Harry Belafonte now, because at first I didn't understand why Well, I did. Why he was so significant. Yeah. There wouldn't be a Sidney Poitier without a Harry Belafonte. Because everything about Harry Belafonte, he turned all the roles down that Sidney Poitier has done in the past. Wow. Harry Belafonte was one of those people. You're not going to use me as a chess tool or a tool. I'm going to do this my way and my way only. You're not going to embarrass me or try to humiliate me as a black man. Right. So don't get me to try to play into your games.
Right.
So with all that being said, all those roles that they tried to get him to play, he gave him the city. But we had to have both of them.
We did.
We had to have Harry to understand why we shouldn't do certain things. And we had to have Sidney to understand why we should do certain things. Sidney was like, okay, I'm going to do the dirty work so I can open the door for the next person, for your Denzels and all that kind of stuff.
What's your favorite role from Sidney?
Anything.
Yeah,
anything he touched.
Yeah, he was gold.
Yeah.
I remember my auntie Star was acting.
Have you ever watched, have you ever watched any of Sidney Poitier's movies?
Raising the Sun?
Raising the Sun, that's probably the only. It was a play.
Do yourself a favor.
Please.
And go back and watch his movies.
Alright.
Raising in the Sun especially. Look Who's Coming to Dinner. Do yourself that favor as an actor. Watch how this man's body language, tone, everything you need to understand about how to become a successful actor, he carries. Everything you need to understand about why he's so important to us as a black man, he did. When there wasn't a director or a producer in sight to fund his projects, him and Bill Cosby did it on their own.
He was Denzel before Denzel.
Yeah, before.
He's the reason why Denzel is who he is today. Yeah. Chad Bowick. Yeah. I love Chad Bowick because he takes his characters and embodies his characters and make them as like what he did with James Brown, what he did with Jackie Robinson. Chad was different. He was a
that's
different,
the only word to describe.
He was a different animal, man. Yeah. And that's what Sidney was. He took his energy. He took his energy and thanked Denzel. Denzel took his energy and thanked Sidney. Because without Sidney, there wouldn't be a Denzel or any.
A lot of us.
Yeah.
A lot of us.
Yeah. It wouldn't be a Denzel. It wouldn't be a. That's another one. What's the guy? And I know my mind is. What's the one who played Peter Green? He played an Iron Man. The black guy.
You talking about Don Cheadle?
Don Cheadle. You see Peter Green's story with Don Cheadle? Man, listen.
I need to check that one out.
Do your studies. Check Peter Green out with Don Cheadle. Don Cheadle is an amazing,
phenomenal
actor by himself. We have a lot of actors coming up, but for me, it's Sidney all the way.
Yeah,
I can see that.
Yeah.
Who's your dream person to work with?
He died, Sidney.
Well, outside of Sidney, like that's still alive.
Chad. You have to.
He's dead. He died, right?
Right. You have to. The person standing next to you has to be able to bring out more than what you have to offer.
Correct.
Right. You understand what I mean by that, Paul? Tell me what you think I mean by that.
The person, they can actually take you from that level that you're at right now to like whether it's a serious, heart-breaking role or bringing you to tears or just bringing you out, bringing emotions out of you that you probably couldn't bring out.
If you had 3 cast members that were standing beside you and all 3 of y'all thought that exact same way, by the end of the day, mentally y'all should be tired because you're trying to not only help yourself but help the person next to you to discover that character even more. To give that director something totally different where he can come out when he yell cut, he can just shake his head like, I couldn't find nothing wrong with that. Regardless of what angle you do it at. I couldn't find nothing wrong with that. Let's move on to the next one. By the time you walk off of that location, you should be feeling like, yeah, okay. I gave it on my best. I gave it my best, and I did exactly what it is that I have to do. If you ever walk off a location and be like, that was a waste of time, not only did you waste your time, you waste the person next to you time, and everybody in that room time. You got to walk away feeling like you accomplished something for yourself and for the person standing next to you. Regardless if you the actor, cameraman, audio man, or DP, regardless of what. And not practice. This is one thing I had to understand. Not practicing bad habits every day. Not taking shortcuts every single day. Not being able to communicate with certain people regardless of what position you're in, when you see the wrong, especially if they're a young actor, pulling them to the side, like, listen, hey, when you have downtime while you're on location, find yourself an area where you can go study your lines. So the next time when you come up, you won't be mumbling and jumbling and jibbling and jabbing and trying to figure out, because now you're wasting everybody's time.
Yeah, the thing I do as an actor and director is I never look at the good in something someone does.
And this is what I was trying to tell one of my friends. I don't care what age you are.
Right.
If you know that person has work to do, don't sit right there and tell that person that they did a good job.
Exactly.
Don't do that, because all you're doing is hindering that person.
Exactly.
I don't care what age they are.
Exactly.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. As an actor, we don't need to hear that. We need to understand that we need to bring it every single time we get on location, no matter what age, no matter how criteria where you think you are on what level. We need to have a understanding that we need to bring it every single time. We need more than good. We need great, especially as independent filmmakers.
Yeah, because when you're telling people, oh yeah, you're doing this well,
they're complacent.
They're gonna think that, oh, okay, I did good, so I can slack down a little bit. That's
so
not
I
what you do.
never tell people. At the end, like I called him, I think I sent him a voice memo last night after rehearsal saying, oh yeah, I like that, But
I was like, because it's funny when I'm acting, I don't know that. I'm like, look, I know I'm doing a good job. I said, but you know what? Like you said, you have to know in your heart, like, all right, I'm giving a performance. I don't need them to validate, hey, you're doing a good job. Because you're right. They say, hey, you're doing a good job. You're like, oh, all right. Then it kind of like boosts up your ego and like, we're all on the same plane.
Yeah, it boosts up your ego and it gives the director average when you know you can do more.
Whenever you think you've done good as an actor, it's horrible.
Yeah.
Like, it's horrible. You can always progress and become better. That's at directing, writing.
Anything that you do.
Anything.
All right, brother man, what's that right there?
Oh yeah, so these are tickets to the stage play Rotten Apple that we're doing.
Tickets for who? Tickets for
They tickets for you.
Yeah. 2 tickets for you.
For you and the +1.
Yes, indeed.
February the 4th.
Yep. So
it's opening night, you know.
Yeah. We want you to come on out.
I'll be there.
And support it.
Yeah, I'll
you're
be
gonna,
there.
Man, you're gonna love the project for sure.
All right, man.
Make sure you got one of these.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. We're to the meat and potatoes of this interview. So the name of this podcast is That Moment. Here's a time where I need for you to tell me in that moment that specific moment in your life when you realize that you had that aha moment. This is what I need to be doing, or this is what I want to do for the rest of my life, or that just changed your life to get you where you are right now.
I'm gonna let you go first.
All right, so mine was I first started doing music. A lot of people don't even know I'm an ill rapper, right?
I believe you,
nasty way, right? I almost got signed for $1 million, and I turned it down because I said, I really want to get into acting because my mom, she was in Joe Turner, Come and Gone, August Wilson. So I was like 9 years old watching her on the
Hold on, tell us a little bit. I'm sorry. Tell us a little bit more about your mama.
Oh, yeah.
I see you mentioned her like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah. So she does plays and stuff. She wrote Waldy Street. We made it all the way to off-Broadway. We were trying to get it to Broadway. Then the pandemic happened. But Blink Entertainment, where I do all of my projects under, is her production company.
That's cool.
And blink is not, it's without an eye. So that's all of her kids in order. So me, my sister London, Nadia, and Khalil. And it's Blink Entertainment. It's a family production. So yeah, I was inspired by her acting in August Wilson's stage play.
Okay.
And then, you know, I said, okay, I'm gonna go to school for it. So I went to Eastern Shore and started acting and stuff. And then I got the opportunity to intern at 106 in Park. And while I was there, I was like, man, I'm meeting so many people, and just I was under the senior writer. I was under him, Pat Charles, and met so many rappers and stuff. And I was just like, man, I don't want to do music and stuff no more. You know, it's just a fast lifestyle. Television and music is a fast lifestyle. So that's when I told my mom, I said, Mom, you should write a stage play for me and my girlfriend. We could perform in front of the family and stuff. So she wrote something called Trapped. So we performed Trapped and stuff, and then we took it to George Faison. You know George Faison? The legendary dance choreographer for Debbie Allen, all of them. He told her, you should rewrite it, and she rewrote it to Waldy Street. So we toured with it and everything, but in the meantime, it's a long story. I have 5 stories, right? So in the meantime, my cousin started living with us, and he was giving me ideas for Rotten Apple, like just him in general. He was just giving me ideas for Rotten Apple, so I started penning that, and yeah, since then that's what it was. But as far as writing is concerned, that very moment was in high school. I used to always go into the library in the mornings. And I saw a post that said, it's a competition, you can win $10,000. Okay, what is this? So I started writing a short story. It's a short story contest. So I'm writing a short story, and I give it to the librarian, and she loses her cool. She's like, oh my goodness, you wrote something amazing, and I'm not just saying this. You're like 3 days late. But you should still publish it. You're like
now you're 3 days late.
Yeah, you're 3 days late, but... Because
why did you say you was 3 days late?
Because I was. I was 3 days late. Because we had to submit it on...
Oh, you had a certain date to submit it. Okay.
I wasn't paying attention. I was just writing.
Oh, okay.
So she said, you should still publish it and stuff. She said, but she was one of the judges. It was a national tour thing. Right. So she was one of the judges. She said, there's no doubt in my mind, you will win. And I was just like, oh. I was in ninth grade.
Y'all 32 years old now. Y'all make me feel. I'm thinking you old.
Go
ahead, Paul.
Man, for me, I think I knew I was gonna be an actor when I was just watching TV. You know, as a kid, I used to watch Martin a lot. You know, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and I said, man, I could act like these guys. I said, man, they just tell jokes. You know, we watching like WWE, and I watch Macho Man Randy Savage. I would just imitate, like, oh yeah, so I was like, imitate him. And so I applied to do a role at my church as a kid, and I know y'all gonna laugh, but I actually ended up being Jesus. You know, at the church. So they got me on the cross. They got like a drive-through play. And I'm up there, and I'm like, yo, you know, Murray, take your son, take your... And it was like, it's over. And I could just feel the emotions over me. People just driving by, like, tearing up. I'm like, man, this is fun. Like, I like doing this. So high school came up, started, you know, doing more plays. You know what I'm saying? We did a play with this, it's called Poplar Hill. It was a slave museum. We did an African play, and then I started doing more plays. Then when I went to UMES, we joined the Drama Society under Mama D, Della Dammer Johnson, and we did Fences. We did Motown and much more. He was
so Paul. Where was your mom and Paul? Where was your mom and Paul?
So all right. So let's be back. So my mom and dad, they were always, you know, pushing me to do stuff, but we didn't have like the money, you know what I'm saying, to do all that stuff. So I couldn't have enough money to play sports. So I couldn't do basketball. I couldn't do football or nothing like that. So my mom was like, hey, you know, I would take you to this and take you to that, but it wasn't really like classes. I'm just like going off of what I could do. My mom was like, well, Paul, you just love making people laugh and performing. So she would always just push me to like
that was
be
your
in different
competitions.
So mom was always there. My dad was like, man, you know, this is okay. You know, I think you can do that. So dad really didn't catch on until later on, and he started hearing people talking about like, yo, your son is talented. So fast forward, and I mean, I've been through so much in my life, but I still just stay focused with my acting.
Paul, when did you have a moment, Paul? Paul, we gotta get you on it.
So I was.
Did you have it yet?
I would say it was the Jesus moment. Was like the initial moment, but the moment when I knew was when I was acting with my acting coach Percy Thomas, and we're doing this play called The Clock, and it was during the crack epidemic in the 1980s, and it was the scene. I'm playing a crackhead again, but I was playing like that serious Holly Berry crackhead. It wasn't like a funny one. And so we're at the end of the scene, and he like, yo, Paul, like you got the lines down, almost like you talked about, but I'm just not feeling it. And I was like, what you mean you're not feeling the lines? Like, yo, Paul, like you really need some crack, like you need a fix. And you just happy, yo, Paul, right?
All right, let's stop it right there. With that being said, I get it. Listen, again, man, it's been my pleasure.
No. What's your moment?
What was your moment? You can't let us tell a lie and you forget yours.
So mine happened with a friend of mine. I used to own this clothing store in DC.
Okay.
What was it called?
Was it Shooters?
After Dark Sportswear.
Oh, after Dark. Okay.
Yeah. Buddy of mine called me. He was like, "Hey, listen, I'm going to audition for this movie, The Wire." He's like, "Do you trying to go with me?" I'm like, "Man, I can't. I got the store." But here's where I knew. It was like Grammy Awards and all that kind of stuff. I couldn't watch because I knew that it was something about being on TV that I wanted to do, and I couldn't process it yet. But to make a long story short, I did wind up going on that show and doing background work, and that leading into something else. But the first time when I actually sat on location, it was like 12 or 13 hours, and that's when I knew I wanted to do that for the rest of my life.
The Wire built so many people.
Yeah, The Wire.
The Wire helped me to understand. Yeah, The Wire, but the House of Cards did it for me. I did so many things in the House of Cards. I was feature background. I played stand-in for Reggie Cathy, stand-in for Remy. I had my educational tour on for that 5 years, Secret Service to Kevin Spacey.
Yeah.
Okay.
So many different things.
How was that working with Kevin Spacey?
5 years straight, I probably only said 2 or 3 words to each other.
What?
Yeah, Kevin.
I saw Kevin Spacey
Let me
too.
tell you
I was
something.
in episode 5.
Here's the thing. To say what you want to
after.
Let me tell you, you can say what you want to say about this dude, but when it comes to that craft,
he's
impeccable. Impeccable.
Master. Yeah.
Impeccable. Dialogue didn't even seem like it came from a script.
He's a master.
It was him turning into Frank at that moment. Anything Kevin touches pertaining to dialogue, sharp like a razor blade.
You have to get to that level.
Sharp like a razor blade.
Yeah.
And will get frustrated because he know he could do it a different way. I used to, again, when I got my stuff and I was doing stand-in for Reggie Cathy. You know who Reggie Cathy is, right? Freddie.
Oh, Freddie. Okay.
He died, bless his heart. And I knew I had to work with them along by myself. I was like, all right, time to go to school. Because it was just an educational piece.
Listen, that's how it is. When Dorian came in to rehearse with us and stuff, it was a lesson. It was literally just a lesson learned. Like, because, he's been in the game for so long, so he's teaching everyone on set. But it's amazing just to watch him work.
I think my freak out moment was, so again, like I said, I was doing stand-in for Reggie Cathy, and it was a scene where we actually, I don't know if y'all remember the scene where they actually cast the roaches in Freddie was killing the roaches in the house, or whatever the case. That was actually me doing all that other stuff. Killing the roaches, because he wasn't there that day. But when Jodie Foster was like, in Randy here today, he can do the stand-in for.
Right.
When she knew my name, that's what it did it for me.
He just said Jodie Foster.
Right.
When she knew my name, when she knew who and the sweetest, one of the sweetest ladies that I could actually ever met.
That's efficient.
I met a whole lot of people. Yeah. I can't get starstruck. I don't get, like, after working with Kevin, I don't get starstruck.
It's not that pillar.
Not to say he's the but
Right.
for me,
He set the tone.
he set the tone for me.
That happened to me one
Yeah,
time.
I don't get starstruck. I don't care who walk into this place. I don't get starstruck.
That happened to me one time. At 106, I met so many celebrities.
Right.
Everybody.
But outside of that, I was with Drake, Diddy, all of them. Not that. It was Floyd Mayweather. Seen him in Vegas.
Yeah.
Crazy story. So we're driving down the street. My aunt, it's like we have a van full of people. Pull the car over. Pull the car. I'm a huge boxing fan.
Right.
Floyd is on the corner. They're like, what, Mom? Like, what? I'm not pulling. If you don't pull this car over, I'm jumping out. You know what I'm saying? So I just graduated high school. So she turned around and he had all this security around. I jump out. I don't care. I jump out. Floyd, what up? What up? He's like, oh, what's up? So the security telling me to move back and stuff. And I'm just fanning out because I'm like, we can talk boxing all day. If you like boxing, we would be here all day.
All night.
It's a different interview. So we're talking and stuff, just real cool. Then everybody else want to get out and take pictures. But the coolest part is that night, my cousin, Sean Merriman, we were going to one of his parties. But we were walking down the boulevard and Floyd was with his security guard driving by. With his top dropped, he honked the horn. My nickname is BJ. Honked the horn. BJ, I see you, man. That was us. I was like, oh, Floyd Mayweather. Like that was the moment for me.
Wow.
I can tell you, I met some celebrities.
That's tight.
I met some celebrities. But I can tell you, one of the most humblest people that I've met on an average level, not to say it's his brother, because he is huge, was Big Daddy Kane.
Wow. Big Daddy Kane.
I just met him like a couple of weeks ago. We actually was in Philly.
Nice.
In Philly, actually going to see New Jack City, which he was actually playing. And I was out in the streets of Philly. He was outside.
Wow.
And I saw him. I saw him. I went over to give him my card because we have some people in common together to introduce myself as a filmmaker.
Right.
When I gave him my card, he was like, "What y'all about to do?" And I'm like, "Brother, we up here to support you for tonight."
Right.
And when my family was across the street, he was like, "Tell them to come over here with me, with us."
Yeah.
So we sat and chit-chatted on that corner as if we knew each other for a couple of months or whatever the case may be.
Wow.
And he is the most, again, like I said, we know people in common that it was, and I knew one day it would have been the time for us to meet, but that day was the proper day for us to meet.
Yeah.
And when his cousin called when I posted, he's like, "Oh, well, I see you met Kane already." I was like, "Yeah, I met him." You didn't tell me the dude was that dude was one of them. And I met some people in my life, but Big Daddy Kane happens to be one of the most humble people that you could ever meet.
I gotta meet him now.
In my opinion, out of all of the actors, celebrities that I've met, I would say the most humblest actor I've ever met was John Bernthal. The Punisher, man. He's like so cool, down to earth. I mean, will give you wisdom and just talk to you about, anything. Like.
And again, like I said, for me, the starstruck thing because throughout that time, I've worked with almost everybody on The Wire. I did Wire, a movie with Bradley Cooper. I've worked with some big names, and with that comes you have to understand that you can't be moved by certain things emotionally because it'll mess you up, and that's always stuck. That's always stuck with me.
They're only human.
That always is stuck with me.
And the stars don't want to be treated like that. They want you to
especially the guy who played Remy in House of Cards, Michonne.
Yeah,
he's and believe I was his stand-in too. He's about a foot higher, taller than me. He was
as long as the lighting, the skin tone match.
Randy's here for Michonne. Give him an apple bottom because you know he ain't top and stand on the apple bottom.
They're just human. They want to be treated the same as well. But when it comes to boxing, listen, I'm freaking out. I don't care if I see who it is. I'm just a boxing fan. I box Paul Box. I'm just a fan.
I see it. Your whole face is
bright. Oh, listen, we talk all day. It's different. Like I can meet Denzel right now and just, what up, dude? talk to him. But then go meet somebody like
You see Errol Spence?
right. I see Spence. It's Spence. You know,
Yo, the truth. What's up?
Exactly. So.
All right, with that being said, man, again, I was up probably past the hour.
Oh man.
I want to thank you guys for
Thank
coming.
you.
Man.
Listen, let people know again what you have coming up and how they can stay in contact with you guys.
Okay. You want to go first?
Oh yeah, so Barry Battle, Instagram, you can follow me at Mr. B Battle _ Facebook, Barry Battle, that's where I am. And then you can go to www.blnkent.com for tickets for Rotten Apple. And then click events as well, so that you can see.
Paul?
And y'all can catch me, Paul C. Jerry, PAULC, Jerry as in Tom and Jerry. You can follow me on Instagram. It's my Twitter and my TikTok. Also, too, the link is in my bio for the tickets to Rotten Apple as well. And you can also follow my business page. I'm an artist as well. P as in Paul, V as in Victor, and then Designs with a Z at the end.
Again, man, like I said, my name is Randall Lawrence, host of That Moment podcast show. I want to truly make you guys aware. Be careful what it is that you post on your social media page because you don't know who's watching your page.
Absolutely.
Your social media page is your brand. You should move your brand in the direction where you need it to be. So again, speak highly of your brand. Post things that's going to help you to move forward and help others.
Amen.
With that,
Can I say something real quick?
Go ahead.
And believe in yourself. Like, that's the main thing. Believe it in yourself as well and putting your faith in God, the source.
Yes.
You know,
Amen.
you have to tap into that source in order to get what you need, you know, because that's the key. A lot of people think we're doing it on our own, but I'm not doing this by myself.
Thank you, Barry.
All of us, we aren't doing this on our own. So you have to tap into that source.
you good?
Nothing beats a failure but a try. I try till I die. Therefore, I never fail.
Again.
Indeed.
I'm with Barry and Paul, independent filmmakers, playwriters. My name is Randall Lawrence, host of That Moment podcast, independent filmmaker, actor as well. And I'm out.
Adios.